Yo, what's going on, everybody? Good evening there. It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you guys and gals. An evening rundown of the latest Manchester United transfer news of the evening. That's what we're here for, guys. We're going to be giving you all the latest goings on at Manchester United and the not so goings on as well. How are we all doing this evening? Thank you for joining us for the live stream. It is 9:36, only 6 minutes late tonight, guys. Sorry for keeping you all waiting there. Hope you're doing well and having a good one. Do us a favour at the start of the show. Smash the like button. Give us a massive thumbs up at the start of the stream and give us a share around. We've pinned the Twitter to the top of the live chat. Give us a cheeky little retweet if you're on there. You know it makes sense. We'll give you a shout out later on in the show as well. And as always, peeps, it's a fully interactive show. We do dip in and out the live chat throughout the show, so get your thoughts and opinions in the chat throughout on anything we're discussing, any topics you want to get involved in and chime in on, please do. And also, we're going to have a Q&A at the end of the stream as well, see what you legends are saying as a community. But thank you, everyone, for being here. Rory C, Talentless, Iceman, Berber, Lemon J, Luke Rogers, Stu, Talentless, Mr. J, Momo Mimo, Palmarius, The Hoop Man, Ronnie Dodge, Luke Rogers, John Adair, Matty Gwinnett, Mark Coughlin, Philip Chapman, Disco Dave, V Cobra, Ronnie, Lemon J, Rushmano, Mr. J, John Adair, and everybody else as well. Sorry if I missed you there, but great to have you all in here. Get yourself involved. Let's be having you. So we'll get stuck into the news, and I guess we'll address the, I was going to say the elephant in the room, but let's address the slab in the room. So obviously earlier on when we were on the show, there was some news sort of breaking on social media, not from any reputable outlets, but that there was information in regards to Aston Villa bidding or being very close to trying to secure a move, at least to bring in Harry Maguire, Manchester United's current current captain. And basically what it transpires is that it's obviously a load of BS. Basically, is what we called it earlier. Although I guess it could still be, working on in the background, and it could just be hush hush at the moment. But supposedly, Manchester United laughing off the idea, or representatives of Harry Maguire as well, the idea that he would be going to Aston Villa and that this has happened. So we can dream. It's a shame, guys, but I don't think there is too much behind that whole Harry Maguire situation. So Fabrizio Romano tweeted earlier on as well, just sort of confirming the situation, and he said that reports of Harry Maguire deal done with Aston Villa are now denied by all parties involved. No negotiations ongoing or talks ongoing. Maguire is expected to stay at Man United. No! Why? Please, God, no! Maguire's expected to stay at Man United. The position is very clear. So, it seems like that's probably the case. I don't think there is much movement there with Aston Villa in regards to bringing in Slabby Maguire. From Manchester United's point of view, yes, we could probably look to try and raise some quick funds trying to sell this big old slab and get rid of him as quickly as possible after the World Cup while his stock's still high. But at the same time, we do need some players between now and the end of the season. You've actually seen Luke Shaw start to feature at left centre-back, which has added a bit more fuel to the fire. Maybe that Harry Maguire won't be playing as much and will probably look to go. So, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that there's a move for Harry Maguire in January. But at this moment in time, it does not seem like Aston Villa is, really in any sort of advanced negotiations or discussions with Manchester United for the purchase of Harry Maguire, which is a bit of a shame, isn't it? Keep or sell the slab. Hey, 0793, how you doing? Abchip as well. No smoke without fire, says Philip Chapman. Yeah, that is generally the case, apart from in the world of football transfers and gossip bullshit. Generally, when there is like a story that's broken about this, and it's from the higher ups in the journalism world, so to say, it generally does have something behind it, obviously. But we haven't really. I don't think there's too much basis for this because we haven't seen anybody that big or any big sort of the big media outlets actually covering this story just as of yet. So, in regards to it actually being the case that Manchester United are in negotiations to sell him, I don't think it's happening, guys. Selling the summer, says Rich M. Hello there, Liam Ward. What's going on? He says, hello, Mr. Pig. Is Harry Maguire going to Villa? Well, as much as we can all dream and hope that he does, I don't think it's the case, mate, at the moment. But you never know. Like we've just been talking about, maybe there is some sort of basis for this because there is a story that has broken. There is information that came out earlier on in regards to Maguire going to Villa. But we've seen, people like Fabrizio Romano here suggesting that it's just not the case, that all parties have denied it. Denying it and actually not having the negotiations are two different things, though. Like, they could actually have had the conversations in the background. Maybe there's some basis for this interest from Aston Villa, but they're just denying it at the moment because they're trying to do some private negotiations. That is also a possibility, but I doubt it. I don't know. It's hard to say who would actually want him. I think, to be fair, a club like Aston Villa's stature is the right sort of fit for a human being like Harry Maguire, and it would make a good fit for him, actually. So I hope it's true for his own career as well, because he could probably go there and have a good career and do well, whereas he's not really going to do that at United. He's going to be playing second fiddle, and he's just going to be slabbing it up for us. We don't really need him now that Martinez is in there and Varane's just one of the best defenders around, really. When he's fit, we've got a good duo, and then behind that we do need some good defenders, but perhaps some younger ones who can develop into some beasts over the years. The Vutinator comments, Slabby knows that his days are numbered. It's up to him to get a club if he wants to carry on playing for England. So true. Great point. So he's the type of person that wants to, of course, continue to play week to week, I think. But he also, like you say, has to think about his international role. Southgate's staying on, the absolute melter. He's staying on. So, Harry Maguire's one of his favoured soldiers. So as long as he's sort of playing week to week, we even saw that this season where he barely played before being selected in the World Cup, and did well in the World Cup. But to be fair, like, to actually get into that World Cup squad, you could argue maybe he did not truly deserve to do that. But just based on the fact that there were limitations and not that many players in the pool to choose from at the back, he got in there. But if he is playing week to week, he's basically going to get in the England team. So you're absolutely right. But if he dwindles off and doesn't play very often for Manchester United and takes up a bit part role, the chances of him getting into the England setup are less than if he's playing week to week somewhere like Aston Villa. Prob get 15 million, says Alex Core. Oh, not this again. Well, we did talk about this a bit earlier on. Look, I know he's worth about, again, one slice of Danish bacon and a couple of packets of Wotsits in reality. But no, let's be fair to him. He is an international and he is 29 and he is in his prime. All those reasons. Captain of Manchester United, even if he was a gash captain, he's still worth decent money. At least 25 mil, 30 mil, 35 mil. One of those figures is what we would receive for him. I can't see us getting any more than that. Knowing Manchester United, we'd probably receive an offer for 35 million and reject it and go back and say we need 40 million. And then they go, no, we're not paying 40 million. And they go, okay, no, we'll keep the slab then. Knowing Manchester United and how we operate, it wouldn't surprise me. But if there's an opportunity to sell him, this is it. He's down the pecking order. He's meme-worthy. He's a Phil Jones 2.0. He's got a breeze block for a head. And he's got a tree trunk for a neck, and he is seriously a hindrance now. Not a hindrance, but he's been a hindrance for the last sort of a year with his overall play for Manchester United, his gash leadership. He's also, just about going to take a roll up as a backup, and that's probably no good for him. I respect the fact that if he does want to leave, because at least that means he's trying to go and play football and better himself and do a Phil Neville and not a Phil Jones, one of the other Phils. So, that's up to Harry Maguire, really. It's dependent on him. He might well have a conversation with Erik ten Hag during this January transfer window and say, just to reaffirm things and just say, look, boss, I'm sort of happy being a slightly smaller part of a bigger setup here. I understand what's going on. We're trying to build a dynasty or dynasty here. We're trying to build something. I'm going to take a little back seat and just be there when you need me. I'm still going to play 25 appearances every season in all competitions, but, I'm going to take a back seat. It's going to be the Varane and Martinez job. If that's what he wants to do with Erik ten Hag, that's absolutely fine, because we could do with that. We could do with some squad players which are just going to sort of be there. He could be like a big old John O'Shea type, but just not as good. But he could be like a John O'Shea for us. Nothing wrong with John O'Shea. You need a John O'Shea. You need a Wes Brown. This is Slabo Maguire. He could be one of these type of players for us if he wants to take that mantle. But is he ever going to be Rio Ferdinand? Is he ever going to be Big Nemanja? The answer to that is no. So it's on Harry Maguire. This is all up to him. He has to decide his own future, and he probably will do that in the summer, I'd imagine. I doubt he's going to move in January. But let's have a little vote on that, guys, just for fun. Everyone get in the chat. Let us know what you think is the case with Maguire. Does he go in the January transfer window, or will he be departing in the summer? Or you can just write stay in the live chat if you think that he's actually going to stay beyond the summer and be here next season. So January, summer, or stay. That's what you think, guys. I think he'll be gone in the summer. I think he'll probably not feature as much between now and then. That'll reaffirm his desire to go away somewhere else and play elsewhere, get in the England team and all that sort of stuff. He's an arrogant twat too, so see Relentless. Pig will regret it if the slab leaves. You what, see Talentless? Abjif, sorry. I won't. Summer 30 million, says Rich. Leaves, says Lamonge. VK says disrespectful to O'Shea. Can't imagine Maguire scoring a chip versus Arsenal. Hey, listen, like I said, it's like everybody needs an O'Shea. I said he's like an O'Shea, just not as good. Disco Day says Maguire needs a chance. Are you serious? He needs a chance at Aston Villa. That's where he needs a chance. Jog on says Pyramid Scheme. Paul Holland thinks the summer. Summer says Lamonge. Slim Reaper says summer 20 mil. Jan says 0793. There could well be some strong interest from his club in January. His stock is quite high. He's kind of surplus now at Manchester United. If there's a club out there in the Premier League that are desperate to bring in a good centre-back, then Slabo Maguire is your man. Summer more time to punt, says the Hoop Man. Summer more likely, says V Cobra and Kingdom Khan and Iceman and Philip Chapman and everyone pretty much, mostly. Rebecca Cooper, welcome in the stream. Stakelin, how you doing? He says, go. Difficult to relocate a big slab, says Clock End Gooner. Well, fair enough. It is going to be quite difficult to rehome this guy. That's it. He's kind of like, I don't know, to put it into terms of dogs, he's kind of like a little puppy that you've picked up from the pound or something. And then you get home after a few weeks' time or a few months' time, starts maturing into this bloody beast. It's from like some boneyard background or something. And before you know it, you've got this biter on your hands. You don't know what to do with it. How are you going to relocate this thing? You love this guy, but at the same time, he's chewing your fingers up. So that's the problem here. It's like he is a bit of a what's the word? A bit of a mutt. He's a bit of a I don't know. He's hard to rehome, guys. What we need to do is just phone up the football equivalent of the RSPCA and see if they'll take him for us. But unfortunately, that doesn't exist. So we have to try and find him a new club. And I don't think that's going to happen, to be fair. It's very unrealistic. But anyway, we'll see. It might happen in January. It could happen. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. Still, we hope. We live in hope. And it's possible, I suppose, that Maguire could end up at a different football club in this transfer window. It's kind of unlikely, though, as well, because are we going to go and reinvest that money elsewhere? If we do, I'm all for it. If not, then we may as well keep him. By the way, we got 139 legends watching this stream right now. Happy Sunday night, everyone. And we got 60 likes on the stream. You what? Bacon Brigade, assemble! Take a second to smash that thumbs up button, guys. It's free and it helps us boost up there on the YouTube. Give us a like. Also, subscribe if you're new and get yourself involved in the chat with the legends. We will be having a proper Q&A at the end, so hang about until the end because we'll have a big old Q&A and get everybody's comments read out. Sean Nettleton, how you going? He says, Maguire won't go anywhere, Pig. He will take every penny he can get. He's almost 30. He won't care. He'll never get anywhere near what he's on at Man United anywhere else. He's happy to take the paycheck and fair. Interesting. So you're suggesting it's another Phil Jones situation. Phil Big Bones, No Bones Jones situation. Hey, look, you could be right, pal. You could well be right. It's quite hard to turn down 180k a week, isn't it? Now, it depends. Players have actually done it before where they've taken a pay cut to go and play for a different team and play more regularly or because it's the challenge. That does happen sometimes. He's on about 180k a week, I believe. So is he going to get that elsewhere? You're kind of right. He's probably not. But the stature of the player he is, maybe for 3 seasons, it's possible that he could get somewhere near that. But you have to remember that from Manchester United's point of view as well, if they are getting money for him, then maybe you could do a deal. Maybe a club would be prepared to pay him 150k or 140k a week. Manchester United have to take the hit on the rest of it and pay him off for the remainder of the contract. And take the hit that way, but just take the hit, absorb it, and try and get rid. There is ways you can do it. And maybe there is a club out there that would pay the total amount for his wages. We were crazy enough to do it. We were crazy enough to pay 80 million for that guy and still pay him the wages that we pay him. I don't know. I actually think Maguire, to credit him, look at him in the England team fighting like a lion in the World Cup and everything. Come on. Give him some credit, the old slab. I reckon the type of person he is, the character he is, I actually kind of think that he would want to go and play. I don't think he is Phil Jones-esque in that sense. Okay, money is great, and we've seen recently, just how it can turn people's heads. But there is examples of players who have gone and taken cuts to play somewhere else, or that Manchester United could pay a little percentage of the remainder of the contract. Who knows? But basically, that could happen. And it's up to him, really. If he wants to go and be a bigger player at a different club and do a Phil Neville, he can go and do that. Or if he wants to do a Phil Jones, he can do that as well. I'm not too concerned about it either way until the summer. You know my thoughts on Harry Maguire, guys. You know my thoughts on him, man. He's absolutely awful. But I think it's fair to say that we probably do need him just for the squad depth right now. It's not an absolute necessity because we do have other players that can go in there, but he's not a bad player to have in the squad to come in and do a job for you between now and the end of the season until we can properly replace and spend more money. We know that the Glazers and Murtow and co are not going to spend money in this January transfer window. They might get a couple of loan deals in, but they're not going to do that. Good shout, Dancing with the Devil. He says Slabby is a Spurs kind of player, if you ask me. He's a Spursy, spud melt kind of player, bud. Yes, a player who's never won a trophy. Much like shitty Spurs. Obviously, they have won a trophy, but not anyway, you know. So, yes, good shout. He is Spursy-esque. That would be a good fit. Or, you know, a club like Everton or a club like, Aston Villa. One of those clubs. A good club, a good traditional English football club. A good club, but not one of the elite clubs. He's never going to be playing for one of those top clubs. And he should have never really been acquired by Manchester United, but it was a bad decision in the end. It cost us a lot of money. You got to take the hit. Yeah, Rushmano says maybe not in January, but defo in the summer. Yeah, Disco says, I agree, he wants to play, but a move to Villa could hurt his England position. Could it, though? Because it's still a good team. It's still a good team, and it's in the Premier League, and he would probably be a big part of that team as well. I don't think that would be necessarily bad for him, as long as he's playing regularly and playing well for them. That's better than not playing at all for Manchester United, which may be the future for him if he stays at United. So, I don't know, I think he would still be just as likely to get an England team if he's going to play for Villa or someone like that if he's playing regularly. Thugger says Newcastle could use him. Well, I mean, I don't know if they'd be that interested in him, but there you go. They could definitely afford him. They could take him, couldn't they? I don't think it would be a good fit for them right now, actually, but you're right. I mean, look, you could do a lot worse than Harry Maguire. He's good enough for the England setup, peeps. He's good enough to be considered by the England manager. But he's good enough to be considered by the England manager as one of the best two centre-backs that we've got available in the country. That's what he's considered. So you have to price him accordingly. But we all know that may not be the case. On the Head Football Live says Southgate rims him. He could be playing in the National League and Southgate would still call him up. That's a good one, mate. Spot on, bud. You're kind of right, but there you go. He does seem to just let these guys get in there. I mean, he wasn't even playing before. He wasn't even playing before he got called up in that World Cup squad. Really, you remember how good he was when he played? Was it when he was at Leicester? Yeah, JD renovations. I know that's what made Manchester United pay that money for him. Still got done by 20 or 30 million on what he was actually even worth at that time with the premium of his season, and he had a good 2018 tournament with England as well. Stu says he's not crap. He's just not going to fit in the team with a high line. Spot on. There you go. You've nailed it. So he's a more of a low block player. He's not necessarily what we need and what Eric Ten Hag's looking for. So I agree with you. Even Maguire's better than Dan Burn, mate, says Well, there you go. Dan Burn ain't getting in the setup, is he? But Southgate loving old Slabbington Maguire. That would be the best Dutch quote. Says breaking news: a typically overpriced offer from Al Nassr for Maguire. They have offered £100 and a fake Rolex. Oh my goodness me! Thank you very much. There, nice one, Dutch Christ. Anyway, so yes, just to bookend the Maguire chat. It's fun to talk about, but in reality, I mean, let's ask the chat because it was an interesting little topic we had there, and like you say, I was thinking that he's the type of player who wants to play and get in the England team and play regularly. So Disco Dave says, I agree, he wants to play, but a move to Villa could hurt his England reputation. Let's just ask the live chat. Do you think he's the type of player who wants to go to play, or will he be another Phil Jones? Let's get a Phil Jones in the chat if you think he's just going to stay and collect the paycheck, because he is on 180k and there might be not another team out there that wants to pay him that money ever again. So do you think he wants to Phil Jones it, or do you think he wants to go and play? Phil Jones says, Dance on the Devil. Owen Thorne's got Phil Jones emojis in there. Play, says T-Mill. I think he's the type of character he wants to go and play. Nice one, see talent. That's Mr. JG84 says play. Pink Boots says Chloe Jenkins. Phil Jones Part 2 says Vincent Bullock. Play, says Callum and Disco and Philip Chapman. Phil Jones Mode says, Gev, subscribe to Jams Highlights. Alex Core says, sell to Villa. Tim Curden says, we're being way too nice to the slab. He has cost us mistakes every game for like 3 years. Yeah, no, fair enough, Tim Curden. I mean, I want him out the side. Anytime he's in the team, it feels like it's ropey and it's just a concern. He's always got a calamity in him. It's not that he's not a good player. It's just that he is kind of error prone. He's not the best, is he? Go and play, says Pete Morris. He stays, says Madhouse. I think he wants to stay not just for the paycheck because he thinks he's good enough. Maybe Rich M. He does seem quite egotistical in that sense, previously stating, well, all the previous managers I've ever played for, want me in their team, so I must be fucking like Maldini. He wants to play for England, says Iceman. Phil Jones definitely says Simon. Well, it's actually very interesting. The chat is pretty much bang on split as to whether or not they think Maguire's going to go somewhere else because he's going to play somewhere else and not play so much United, or whether he's going to stay and just collect the paycheck. We'll find out. But like Rushmano says, Maguire's a decent professional, very rarely throws his teddy out the cot. Yeah, so he may well... It depends, doesn't it? Ten Hag and him have to have a conversation. Between now and the end of the season's going to... And certainly in this January period is going to mean a lot. So let's just say this happens. The next game, we line up with Martinez and Varane at the back. Varane snaps his ankle. I don't want to think about this or talk about this really, but... I'm just saying, let's say that happens. All of a sudden, you would be thinking, oh, crikey, it's just as well we've got a big slab around. You might still be playing Luke Shaw and Martinez at the back. But what if something happens to one of those guys? You've got to think about it. So for depth-wise, for cover, it's no bad thing for us to keep slabbing Maguire for the rest of the season. But if an offer comes in, let's fucking snap their hand off, my friend. Palmaria says, I'd actually keep him as squad rotation. He's rarely injured and hasn't moaned once this season. There you go. Is he prepared to give up the armband? Is he prepared to take a step back? He needs to speak with Ten Hag. They need to figure this out, obviously, and decide whether or not he's going to be a smaller part of something bigger or whether or not he can't do that. And he wants to go and play every single game at a different club. I'm sure they will have that conversation soon. Whether it's now or at the end of the season, they will certainly have that conversation. Because I think if he wants to just be a squad player, it's no bad thing for us to keep a player like that around. Certainly, like if you are in a game where you need somebody on there who's a bit of a unit, he's handy. If you want to put an extra defender on at the end of a game, he's handy for somebody who can clear balls away and things like that and distribute it reasonably well. He's got strengths. So, yeah, keep Slab for now, says Anthony Ong, and sell during summer and get a new centre-back in. That's probably the most realistic outcome. Malp says we've got Varane, Shaw, Lindelof, Martinez. Yep, and even Casemiro's been played in the game there at the back, or McTominay can even feature in the back there. But anyway, he's quite a robust slab. Anyway, let's stop talking about Slabby Maguire. We'll get back onto that in a bit. But let's cover the latest transfer news then in regards to a couple of players that could potentially be coming into this football club. It doesn't seem like Maguire's going anywhere. There's a little bit of information from Fabrizio Romano anyway. Now, let's just talk about Joao Felix, because Joao Felix is still on the radar supposedly for Manchester United. More comments have come out here from Atletico Madrid president Cerezo, who's commented and said that Joao Felix's future, I always say the players play where in the club they want. I don't know where Joao wants to play. I think he's now feeling so good here at Atleti. It depends on Joao and on the situation. So, it's just more absolute guff here coming out, really. And it's quite likely that this guy goes in this window if there's an offer that is satisfactory to Atletico Madrid. We understand that they have rejected an offer from Manchester United, which is a low-ball sort of offer. Not necessarily a low-ball offer, but maybe a loan fee with a few million quid and covering his wages. Reports coming out this evening that Atletico Madrid have reportedly quoted Manchester United a £9.5 million loan fee and a £70.5 million purchase option for Joao Felix. So, not being funny, peeps, but we should just do that. Okay, it's a lot of money. If that's really what they want, it is a lot of money. But if they're giving us the option to buy him, and if on the back of a good 6 months, we do buy him and he becomes a permanent player for us, then it's not bad for a player that they spent 130 million on. And who is one of the hottest properties. He's not that old. Was he 23, 24? He seems like he's been around a long time. He's a good quality player. And he's only getting better, really. So it's kind of no-brainer. If you want to get a quality set of players together, a good squad of players together, then this guy would be a good addition to our squad right now. He would provide us something different. He's a silky, creative player as well as being able to score a goal. But he can definitely create for days. And so it would be no bad thing to have a player like that in there. So for that sort of money, it's a lot of money up front for a loan that may potentially not go anywhere. But if he's vital to what you're trying to do between now and the end of the season, it would be worth spending that 9.5 million. And then if you've got an option to buy him further down the line, yes, it's a big amount of money, but you're spending that sort of money on a player like Anthony, then it seems like a very reasonable thing to do. So if that is the case that there's an option to buy for £70.5 million, then what would you like, guys? Smash a 1 in the live chat if you think United should just go ahead with that and get him in. Smash a 2 if you think that's too much and we should not do that. But personally, I don't think that that's actually that bad of a deal. It's like we're paying quite a lot to have him on a 6-month trial, basically. And then if we really want him and he really wants us, then we can make it right. And it just cost us about £80 million altogether. But for a player who they spent £130 million on and who is considered a very great talent, it's not actually too beyond the realms of ridiculousness. We've got a super chat here from Chloe Jenkins. Thank you, Chloe Jenkins, for the super chat. Let's get a love heart in there for Chloe Jenkins. Thank you so much. She comments and says, Joao won't come. He is thinking, I have enough of Bruno moaning in my ear with Portugal. I don't want it every day, for fuck's sake. Well, there you go. Maybe so. Maybe so. I don't know. I mean, good one, though, Chloe Jenkins. Nice one. Thank you so much for getting in here and supporting the show with a super chat there, you legendess. Let's go. Rush Mano says we got 100 likes. Have we smashed 100 likes, have we, baby? Let's go. Everyone, thanks for hitting that thumbs up button. You're a bunch of legends. I appreciate you smashing the like button. Do hit the like if you're just joining. It helps us out. Thank you, Luke S, for being the 100th like. Legend, mate. Right, okay, so a lot of people say 1, get him in there. Callum thinks so, and Berber, and Mr. J, and Aaron. A lot of people saying no, it's too much money, like Connor, Alex Core, T Mill, Disco. Thinks he's just loving it. So, it's kind of split, but most people I think in the chat there would be happy to get him in. It's not our money. Also, from the Glazers' point of view, if they're just trying to cheap out, think about how much Cristiano Ronaldo was on, 2 million a month. Times that by 6, right? It doesn't take a genius to figure out that amount of money is 12. So, he's on 2 million. 6 million times 2 is 12. So £12 million. So what does that say? Well, how much is Joao Felix on a week? I think he is on like 350k a week, to be fair. You're going to have to cover his wages. That's significant. That's almost all of what Ronaldo is being paid, in all honesty. Not quite, obviously. You're going to save 150k a week then. That's 600k. So over the, okay, they do have to spend about 6 or 7 million in total. But that's it. When you factor in what they saved, you factor in how much he's going to be paid in terms of wages and how much you have to pay for his wages and the initial fee. But what you save, he's going to cost you about 7 or 8 million overall. That's not a bad deal. Get him in there for the remainder of the season. Get him hopefully helping us create and score goals. And then we'll have a deeper squad. And if you've got Weghorst in as well, all of a sudden we've gone from having no decent proper strikers up there to having, options. Of course, we want a proper sort of number 9 like a Weghorst, but Felix is versatile. Felix can play a number of roles for us, and he can also contribute goals. And then we've got Martial as well, doing whatever Martial does, melting probably. So, that's pretty much where it's going to be at. It's pretty much where it's going to be at, is if we could get a couple of loan deals in this window. The Glazers won't spend. That's probably what's going to happen. So an option to buy would be great. Maybe that's where the issue is. Maybe if we could get pay them that up front, but the option to buy comes down a little bit and they say, hey, look, we'll take 60 for him in the summer. Maybe that's what's holding it up. But in terms of the initial amount, we know the Glazers don't like spending money at all. So there you go. We spent more on Igalo, says Callum Durkin. So if you actually figure it out, though, from what we saved from Ronaldo and what we could spend on this guy, it doesn't actually seem like it would be a lot of money that we'd have to invest. So I think it'd be a fantastic addition. Let's just give you the rest of the sort of Joao Felix reports very quickly, because, as I said, it's understood that there was an offer from Manchester United rejected previously. They are holding out for a lot more money. United supposedly offered something like 3 million in his wages. And there's report stating that they're demanding 9.5 million loan fee and also an obligation to purchase, perhaps. So an obligation to purchase at 70.5. There's another slightly varying report. Some reports suggest that there's an option to buy. Other reports say that Atletico want an obligation to buy, which is obviously very different. Manchester United would just want an option to buy to see how he gets on for the first 6 months, especially if they're paying like 9 million up front for a loan fee. So there is definitely things that need to be figured out here. And it's sort of understood that there'll be about 48 hours to actually get this deal done, apparently. So, we'll see if it's possible to get done. And of course, also you have to remember that Arsenal are also interested. So Manchester Evening News this evening are reporting that, Arsenal are actually, close or in discussions with landing this guy. So it's a concern. It would be very annoying to see him go and sign on a loan deal basis with an option to buy or something to go and sign for Arsenal. Let's ask the chat very quickly and get you guys involved again. Let's ask the chat, where do you see Joao Felix ending up this January transfer window? Atletico Madrid, Manchester United, Arsenal, or somewhere else? Let us know where you think he's going to be very, very shortly. Is he going to be at Atletico Madrid? Christy says Atletico can loan Felix and buy Weghorst, as he'll be about 7 million, as that's his price this coming summer from Besiktas. There you go as well, my friend. Atletico says Thugger. United says Dancing with the Devil. Atletico says Madhouse and Tim Clerdon. You don't know says Momomino. Chelsea says Alex Core. Man United says Bruce. Rich says Arsenal. United says Simon. Not obligated to buy says Rushmano. Arsenal says T-Mill. Arsenal. United says Mr. JG. United says Hamza. Arsenal says Artie Willis. United hopefully says Vincent Bullock. Jarvis says don't think we'll get Felix. Maybe Arsenal. Interesting. I mean, if you're Joao Felix, we sort of touched on this upon this a little bit earlier, but if you're actually Joao Felix and you're thinking, who can I go to on a loan basis on a short-term deal? Right now, the team that is top of the Premier League probably is quite an attractive proposition if they're going to pay you as much as anybody else, simply because you can have a chance of winning the league. And they are top of the league, so you'd think that they would probably be quite likely to win it. I still think they'll bottle it, but it's kind of, from an outside point of view, if you're looking in, you might go, oh, well, there's a really good chance for me to get a winner's medal. Chloe Jenkins with another super chat. Thank you very much there, Chloe Jenkins. Get in there. Guys, let's get a cheeky little fucking love heart in there for Chloe Jenkins. She comments and says, only allowed 2 loans, and we have Butland. Oh, there you go. Yep. So we'd have to maybe purchase Weghorst or something if that was to be the case, but it's understood that's going to be a no. We'll get onto that in a minute. So one more, and Chelsea say they will beat any bid, says Chloe Jenkins. Well, okay, fair enough. We'll see. I mean, they are acquiring a lot of players, aren't they? But it depends on who these players want to go to as well, and who's putting attractive propositions on the table for the clubs as well as the players. But we'll see, won't we? I mean, there's a few players that a lot of these clubs are vying for. You'll be tough to get Joao Felix. Because of the fact that Atletico are playing hardball, they probably want too much. He might well end up staying there. There's other clubs sniffing around him as well. So you're absolutely spot on. Thank you so much, Chloe Jenkins, for getting in here raw with another super chat. Really, really appreciate that. So Joao Felix, guys, it's still up in the air. It's a possibility for Manchester United. We're quoted a very high price for him, but when you actually factor in the impact he could have, and if there is an option to buy in there, which would be lovely, maybe it would be nice if we could negotiate slightly down, but it seems pretty reasonable to me. We don't have to get him in the summer. If we get him in now and we pay £9 million up front and then he proceeds to have an absolute shitter of a season and be Alexis Sanchez-esque or something, then we don't have to actually buy him. So that's what we want. We don't want an obligation to buy. We just want an option to buy. And I think at these terms, it sounds like a pretty reasonable deal to me. It's a fortune to pay for a loan player, but you're sort of getting a class player here. You're not just getting any old guy. This is an Odion Nagalo coming in here. This is a really classy individual who's a bit of an asset. So it would be very much a coup for Manchester United to get this guy in if we could do it. So let's make it happen, United. Have a bit of ambition. Try and buy Weghorst. Try and get this guy in. Do what you can do. It would be lovely. But just to counter that, and like Chloe said, we can only have a couple of loans and things like that, the Jack Butland situation, all that jazz. Here is a report here that suggests that Wout Weghorst is believed to, so we get onto Wout Weghorst now, guys. Wout Weghorst is believed to have his heart set on a loan move to Manchester United as he looks to make amends in the Premier League, following a miserable 6-month stint at Burnley, where he only scored 2 goals in 20 appearances in the league. But hey, look, it's different playing for Manchester United than it is playing for Burnley. If he's getting opportunities and being, having these great balls in from Shaw and Dallo and Bruno and all these guys whipping it into him and playing a squad role, he'll probably be quite a useful player for us. So he's got his heart set on coming to United. Now, it depends on Manchester United, it depends on Besiktas. We know that there is negotiations taking place and there is contact that's been made. And the case is basically that Weghorst is pretty desperate to want to join Manchester United. It's just on Besiktas, who have, of course, him on loan until the end of the season from the parent club, which is obviously Burnley. Now, there has to be a deal reached between Burnley and also Besiktas, which is still still yet to materialise. But if we have a look at some info that's coming out this evening, there's a bit more information coming out just in that Wout Weghorst representatives are flying to Istanbul for talks with Besiktas to unlock the loan move to Manchester United. So we are working on a loan move for him. We are working on a possible player to come in, and it seems like that's probably the most likely outcome, is that we just end up loaning Wout Weghorst. Now, Besiktas can make a bit of cash, Burnley can make a bit of cash, and Man United get a player that we can use for cover and also to provide us something different and hopefully get us some goals at the top of the pitch there for 6 months. It plugs a hole. It's a bit of a Gaston-inspired sign, as we said previously, but it is what it is, guys. There you go. So he's desperate to come. We know that he wants to come, as per previous comments, that he's really, really keen, 100% keen on joining Manchester United and joining up with what Ten Hag is trying to do and those whole Dutch vibes. So it's just a case of us being able to thrash out a deal with Burnley, who in turn will be thrashing out a deal with Besiktas to try and get this deal done. But as reported there, different reports suggesting that Wout Weghorst representatives are flying to Istanbul for talks with Besiktas to try and unlock this potential deal. So with fingers crossed, guys, we could see this guy come in. Look, I would love to just go and get a much better player or a much bigger name player or a bigger prospect, but he's still a good player, and I'd be happy to see him come in here and help us out. Martial's not enough! So, so Wout Weghorst to Manchester United. Yay or nay, guys? Yay or nay? Have a vote in the chat. Let's know what you're saying. Yay or nay? Okay, let's see what other reports are coming in. Thank you, Rushbano, for sending me some updates throughout the show here. And, the Telegraph reporting this evening. James Ducker reporting just 10 minutes ago that Wout Weghorst is desperate to join Manchester United. So, he's at Besiktas, obviously. I think he posted something on social media earlier, like just a sort of like some like a black eagle or something, which is one of the team's nicknames or something like that. In regards to it's this time at Besiktas, I think he is enjoying his time there. But when Manchester United comes a knocking, you've got to go a rocking, don't you? Nay, says Owen Thompson. Yay, says Stay Clint. Nay, says Artie Willis. Nah, says Rashak. Yes, says Mr. J and T-Mill. I'm going to say yay. Rushmano says 119 likes. Let's go. Of course, yes, it's a dream move for him, says Connor Franks. Very much so. It's kind of like the Odion Igalo move, isn't it? Where it's just a dream move for him as well. It's a journeyman who's getting an opportunity otherwise they probably wouldn't get if it wasn't kind of for the desperate situation that we're in up there. With Ronaldo leaving. Star-Lord says yay, and Ashwin. Nay, says Legacy of Outlaws, and Artie Walls. Fair play, fair play. Nay, says Legacy of Outlaws. Okay, fair dues. Well, it's one of those, guys. We'll see how it materialises over the next 24 hours. There probably will be reasonable movement over the next 24 hours for this deal. We either get a yes or no, I suppose. I think that if the representatives are truly going over there to discuss the situation and try and flash out a deal, we'll get a decision pretty soon as to whether or not this can happen. I.e., they'll figure out how much money they want, if that's in keeping with what Burnley are prepared to pay, and of course that has a knock-on effect with what Manchester United are going to have to pay in order to bring this guy in. So yes, we'll see. Primos says yes, Pig. You wearing a neck pillow? I'm not actually, mate. This is just a hood for a hoodie, mate. It's like a fleecy hoodie. It's really cold in the garage here, bud. So I'm basically just rocking like a fleece, a real thick fleece. Yeah. Stu comments, it will be interesting to see how he does. Ten Hag does good with that type of player, like Haller. Yeah, no, good point. And if you think about the options we have, we don't have a player like that. We've got Harry Maguire, who's a big fucking slab of man, but we don't have like a goal-scoring slab that can come on. It would be nice to have just a different type of a player who's going to come on the pitch and go up there and be a presence and a goal threat. That's the plan. Also, just very quickly, I'm going to get into a little bit of other news, only just a couple of things I've got, and then we'll get into a bit of a transfer news chat with the live chat. But just a couple of other things I've got here. So, other speculation linking players to Manchester United at the moment. So, there are some other links to Mohamed Kudus. So, reports on Give Me Sport and also Manchester Evening News reporting that Mohamed Kudus would love a move to Old Trafford. Apparently, he would love the chance. The Ajax ace has been heavily linked with the move to Old Trafford, and he's impressed, obviously, for Ghana at the World Cup. And it's just he's another linked player to us that could potentially be on the radar for Manchester United at some point. So there you go. Also, we've got information on Edin Dzeko supposedly being like a possibility for Manchester United, which, again, I don't really think there's too much of a basis there, but there are reports coming out this evening that there could be a surprise swoop for Inter Milan's Edin Dzeko, which, hopefully is not the case. He was a great player, actually, Edin Dzeko, but he used to play for that City scum. And also, he's 36 as fuck now. So you've got to take that into consideration. It's just another... It would just be another... He was a classy player, but it's just another, we don't need that. So he's also being linked this evening. Another bit of information we have come out from Rich Fay earlier on today is that Man United are open to sending Charlie McNeil out on loan in January. He has already attracted interest from the Football League, and he is willing to gain valuable experience elsewhere. I think that's probably best. There's no opportunities for this kid here. Clearly, we are going out there in this January window now and buying a player. So, yes, what do you reckon, guys? Keep, sell, or loan Charlie McNeil. I mean, you've got to give him some chance. You've got to either give him some chances or let him go out on loan. We've got to loan him out. Yes, I think that's absolutely true. Yeah, there it is, Rushmano. Edin Dzeko, now Manchester Evening News also reporting it as well. Oh, thank you, Rushy. So, yeah, and Manchester Evening News reporting that Man United are targeting a surprise swoop for Edin Dzeko. Look, as I said, Edin Dzeko is actually a classy player. He's 36 now. He's out of contract at the end of the season. He's not spoken with Inter about extending his deal. So kind of a similar situation with him and Olivier Giroud. Now, if I was United out of those two, based on who's doing what at the moment, I would be going for Olivier Giroud. But you can't really doubt that this guy is a good player. He doesn't look... He used to be pretty damn prolific when he was at City. He scored 27 in 72 for the Serie A side, which is not as prolific, but he's a good player. I mean, I'm going to say a hard pass. I'm going to say no for Edin Dzeko. Let's have a vote in the live chat, though, peeps. Edin Dzeko, yes or no? Edin Dzeko, yes or no? For me, it's a big, firm, juicy nah. Nah, mate. Do one. City scummer. Who needs it? No thanks. So it's a big no from me. No, says Rich M. Piss off, Dzeko, says Primot. Yeah, who needs it, guys? We don't need it. We don't need it. Okay, so I think that's quite unrealistic anyway, just because of the previous links with City and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that's that realistic, but that is basically the latest links. We're linked to a couple of players still. Kudu and also Edin Dzeko now appearing as a link. Joao Felix is a very strong link for us as well, but he could end up going to a number of different clubs. Let's hope Man United have the bollocks to go in there and sign this player, because it would be very nice. Weghorst is being worked on. We know that representatives are flying out to Istanbul for talks, supposedly to try and broker some sort of deal here between Besiktas, Burnley and Manchester United. Charlie McNeil's going to potentially be loaned out. So, yes, and we know Wout Weghorst is very desperate to join Manchester United. Supposedly, Atletico Madrid have put in essentially a package or an asking price of what they want, which is just over £9 million, and then also a further 70 million down the line. Hopefully, Man United can agree some sort of loan fee initially up front with a further option to buy down the road, because it's needed. We could do with getting this player in. But also, we are working on Weghorst. Maybe that's going to be difficult. Maybe it's one or the other. But it would be lovely if we could get both of these players in some capacity. Maybe you could sell a player in this window. There are players still at this football club that we could actually sell if we're prepared to sell a couple and just mix things around a little bit. But it's probably unlikely. So I don't see us doing much business. We are probably reaching the end of the business that Manchester United are going to be doing in this window once we've signed a number 9. So if we do get Weghorst, that'll probably be it. If we do get Joao Felix, that'll probably be it. It's very unlikely we'll go out there and spend money to buy Weghorst. I don't know. We'll see. It seems like a loan capacity at the moment, but if it's not a lot of money to buy him out right off of Burnley, maybe there could be a deal done there. We'll see. And then maybe you could loan Joao Felix. So that's the latest news, everybody. Burnley have held talks with Besiktas as well over the cancellation of Wout Weghorst's loan after he pleaded with them to allow him to complete a dream move. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at with the latest Man United transfer news. Time to get into the live chat now, everybody, and have your say. Stick around we're going to be on here for 10 minutes. We're going to go through everybody's comments, see what you legends are saying, and having you're getting your opinions in there. So get involved with the chat now, my friends. Do us a favor as well. Smash that like button on it. I don't know how many we're on. Let's give it a refresh. But let's get this sucker to 169 likes. We are on 129 right now. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so, guys. And every little helps. Also, like Rushmano says there, subscribe to the channel. We're on here daily with all the United news, giving you the latest updates in a no bullshit manner. Get yourself involved by subscribing and clicking that bell icon. Thank you, Rajat. Thank you, Chloe Jenkins as well, and everyone. Blake Butler says Blake Butler says we should sign the pig. His passion and commitment to the club would be second to none. Thanks, mate. To be fair, I'll do a better job than the Slabbo. You know what I mean? Thank you, Rajat. Owen Thompson says Arnold trying to save him on the skin by saying fans need to be listened to by new owners, right? Yes. I mean, that's it. I mean, the thing is, I personally don't see how they're operating that differently as previous regimes yet. Time will tell in regards to people like, Arnold, Murtaugh, these guys. Let's hope that they can, they can get a bit more out of the Glazers in terms of the commitment to the club. They're not just a bunch of freaking yes men suits for the Glazers again, but they probably are. That was the worst performance by Joao Felix. There you go, Joao Felix selected again tonight, by the way. P.S. is Pig. Weghorst is a pressing guard, and this fits exactly with what Erik ten Hag wants. He's not Haaland, and his 6 months at Burnley was mostly in a sinking ship. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, that's it. He definitely was not in a good team when he went to Burnley. 2 goals in 20 appearances, though, is a concern, but the team was, like you say, doing shite. Well, fair enough. I mean, if he's a pressing guard, I mean, I don't know. He's a big fucking unit, isn't he? He's a physical player. So he's going to get around and he's just going to be a big nuisance up there and physical and strong. It's what you need. It's what we need. Somebody like that, because we don't have anybody like that up there. Volcar01 says, what's funny is Besiktas also want to cancel Dele Alli's loan, but Everton don't even want him back. Nice. That is fucking bad, isn't it? What's happened to Dele? Weghorst is a very worrying signing, says Kate Cadet. I can see the Glazers staying for the foreseeable future. Okay, you can look at it 2 ways. Are they playing the long game and they don't want to spend money and they're just waiting to the summer to have to spend money again? Or are they not spending that much money and just doing the minimum because they're trying to sell the club? Who knows? We've heard previously they released a statement saying that they're looking at the options of selling the football club. So hopefully that's still the case, bud. But maybe they are just trying to pull the wool over everyone's eyes and milk us and generate outside investment so they can continue doing their horrible ways. Oh yeah, interesting. Sylvester Younger says we should sign Vincent Aboubakar from Al Nassr. That guy is much better than Weghorst. Interesting. Well, there were some reports coming out that his contract had been terminated. I think that's been poo-pooed now, hasn't it? I think I don't know. I heard Jack Lee says Aboubakar was released by Al Nassr, free agent signing. I don't know. I heard that he wasn't though. So I heard that earlier on as well, that he was actually released by Al Nassr, but then I heard that he wasn't. Can anybody in the chat clarify? Because I haven't done my due research on the Aboubakar situation, but I heard that he hadn't been released in the end. So, should bring in Matis Turn on loan from Bayern, says Matthew Smith. Interesting, my son. Make updates to Old Trafford character and invest in more facilities, says Rajat. Hey, WWE Network brothers. Surely if you're selling to multi-billionaires, you can afford to spunk out in January. True, Kate Cadet, and just add that onto the final value. True, they're scummers, mate. How going to build new stadium, new training ground? Glazers don't have money, broke. Yes, indeed. Get them out. And at the back, Pigo, he'll be useful for defensive set pieces. That's true as well, pal. Yeah, definitely. Volcar says, I heard they're trying to make space in the squad for Ronaldo, says Volcar. Yes, no, that's absolutely true. They are. Al Nassr are trying to do that. But I don't think he's actually been terminated just as of yet. I could be wrong. Jack Lee says, I haven't got confirmation. I last checked this morning. I could be wrong. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about because I saw that same report, bud, about him being terminated. But let me just double check this. I'm pretty sure the situation as it is, unless something's changed, is that he is actually still an Al Nassr player. In fact, there's actually a tweet from Fabrizio Romano from an hour ago, which says there's still no contract termination agreed between Vincent Aboubakar and Al Nassr as things stand. The situation could be resolved before the end of the window as a couple of clubs start to be interested. So maybe they could sell him for dirt cheap and maybe they could make a few quid and they're going to try and do that. I mean, Manchester United might be interested in that guy as well. So there you go. There's different options. Can we get Ollie Watkins, says Rashafi? Or maybe if they're interested in the human slab. Chicharito back, says Matthew Smith. Thank you so much, Rushmano, for sending these updates over, by the way. And yes, it does look like that's the case. So we got an update from Ben Jacobs here that says, should Man United agree a loan deal for Wout Weghorst, Besiktas are considering re-signing Vincent Aboubakar. Weghorst appeared to say goodbye after scoring against Kasim Pasa, but his agent Simon Kazima says Wout just made a celebration. Weghorst was told Besiktas he wants Man United. So there you go. That's interesting. So maybe if we could do a deal for Weghorst, then Abubakar might be going to replace him over at Besiktas. That's interesting. Or maybe we should just go for Abubakar. What do you reckon, guys? Abubakar or Weghorst? Can Garnacho play up top? I mean, I guess he could do. I mean, he's a technical player. He's got an eye for goal, definitely. I guess he could do. But he's physically not the strongest. I think he's maybe better getting in that space out wide. I am doing FIFA tonight, WWE Network, brothers. Absolutely, mate. I will get you the link for that, bud. We are doing FIFA tonight, guys, at 11:15, so we're going to be back on in about 45 minutes or so. Please do come and join us for that. I'll put it at the top of the live chat. Before I do, actually, I'm just going to go over and shout out everyone who's retweeted the stream. I'll give you 30 seconds to go and do it. If you haven't done so, the I don't know why I'm pointing up there. It's there. The Twitter is pinned at the top of the live chat. Click that link. Give us a retweet. I'm going to go over there and shout out every single one of you legends that has shouted out this or retweeted this show, because I appreciate the help spreading the word, my friends. How do I do this now? I'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way. But yes, thank you everyone who helps share the show. Thank you everyone who's hit that like button. Make sure you smash the like on this vid for positivity and to help the channel out. Let's have a look then. We've had 10 retweets. Shout out to all the retweeters there, guys. I appreciate it. 11, actually. Shout out to all these legends. I want to shout out Matty Gwinnett, Matty Rushmano, Thugger007, Ronnie Dodge, Jarvis Cocker, G-Dad Gamer, which is the Ulfmeister, I'm pretty sure, isn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's hard enough remembering everybody's names, let alone aliases. Stu, Raj, Edwin McAllister, Anthony Ong, John, and Vincent Bullock. Thank you very much, everyone, for retweeting us on Twitter. Nice one. Right, okay, let's read a bunch more out, guys, and then we're going to wrap this video up and get on the FIFA in a little bit. The Man United hero says, give us a quick breakdown, Pig, before you go. Just got home. Okay, let me give you a quick rundown of what we've discussed. So, the Maguire situation, where there was reports coming out, not very well-substantiated reports coming out earlier that Maguire was a big target for Aston Villa. It did not materialise that way, or it doesn't look like it's materialising that way anyway, because Fabrizio just came out this evening and said that reports of Harry Maguire deal done with Aston Villa are now denied by all parties involved. No negotiations or talks ongoing. And then, so it doesn't look like he's going anywhere, but we can dream, but we'll see. Also, Atletico Madrid's president has basically said that Joao Felix's future is kind of up to him and where he wants to play at. But he seems happy here. That's what he said. We've been quoted from Atletico Madrid, reportedly quoted anyway. Man United, 9.5 million up front and a loan fee, and then a potential future option to buy for 70 million. That's basically what's happened there in regards to Joao Felix. That's the latest on that. And then also, Weghorst is believed to really want to move to Manchester United, and he's looking to try and make that happen. And also, there's reports that Weghorst representatives are flying to Istanbul to talks with Besiktas to unlock the loan move. That's basically the latest, really. Those are the biggest talking points. Maguire staying, Atletico Madrid wanting a lot of money for Joao Felix, and Manchester United still having a small chance of maybe being interested in taking him. And then Weghorst really wanting to come, and Ten Hag wanting Weghorst, and the possibility there, but it depends on Besiktas, it depends on Burnley. There's a few different factors. So, it's not the greatest update, but it is something. The Cake Cadet, thank you for the £2 super chat, mate. He says, get the season killer Weghorst out. Crikey, he really doesn't want Weghorst in there. He's going to complement the squad, that's all. I don't think he's necessarily coming in there to be the main man. It would be nicer if we had somebody who was coming in there to be the main man. Martial still will play up there, I think, even though he's been gashed. We'll see. Look, right now, I'd put Weghorst in there because of Martial's bad form. Give somebody else a chance. Like, if we sign Weghorst tomorrow, I'll play him next game. But there's still a chance for Tony Martial up there to try and fight his way back in. Kay Slater says, I heard Maguire has been targeted by an appliance company as a delivery van driver. Well, slightly wrong information there, Kay Slater 23. I have to set you straight on the record there. So you're kind of right. You're half right. He has been targeted by an appliance company, but he's not been targeted to be a delivery van driver. He's been targeted to be an appliance. He's been targeted to be a fridge. So, in their new range, that's where the confusions occurred. He has been targeted by an appliance company. I believe it's Curry's. I'm interested in stock in the slab. But other than that, no, it's not actually a delivery van driver. You take anyone up top over the two melts we have at the moment. There you go, Berber. Depay is miles better than Weghorst. Do you think they're caking it? I'm not so convinced. I mean, he is more versatile, but we're talking about a big old unit up there who gives us a different focal point, a different option. We've got a lot of players kind of like Memphis Depay, don't we? I think we do. Yeah, you're talking guff there, Cake. Case says, thank you for setting me straight, Pig. You are welcome. Thank you for bringing up the topic. Jack Lee says, strikers are in short supply nowadays. Unfortunately, it's difficult to find one. Well, it's difficult to find one for anything less than a reasonable amount of money. If we were prepared to spend a good amount of money, we could get one. We could get an Osterman or a Vlahovic or anybody like that, really, a Gonçalo Ramos. We could get those sorts of players if we were spending 70 million. But we're not the sort of club right now who in January will spend 70 million because of the shithouse Glazers. Hashtag Glazers out. They are a complete parasitical cancer. I hate the guys. Even though they did spend 200 million in the summer. They did actually spend 200 million in the summer. So you can see why they don't want to really spend another 70 million. But that's actually what United need. Like Ragnick said, we needed open heart surgery. And so far they've only done half a job. Osimhen or Schick, says Danushko. So yes, there's options. Glazers out, time to rebuild the stadium, says Lucky Singh. Yeah, Glazers out, says Man United hero Dale. Primot says not even a working fridge, just a display model, if anything. Even the Council FC wouldn't take the fridge, says Dutch Christ. Jack Lee says, I watched Osimhen destroy Liverpool. He's powerful and energetic. He'd be perfect, but the Glazers won't pay up. That's what the problem is. So there are some strikers around, but we're not prepared to spend the money on them right now. Smeg Horse, when he has a bad game, says Glazers only spent money that the club makes, not their own investment. Spot on, Owen Thompson. David Senior says, Piggy, did you have a good Christmas? I did, mate. You met David May, did you, in a night out? That's awesome, mate. Nice. How is David May? Quality, mate. That's awesome. Good to see you, David Senior. Happy New Year, bud. Don't trust anything, says Lucky Sin. Vincent says, I heard Simon Cowell and Apple are interested in buying Man United and WWE. Purpose says, Maguire's one of those fridges you see in Kitchen Nightmares. Massive and bloody terrifying. Filled with cockroaches. Build new stadium, says Lucky Singh. That's why you get Alvarez for 15 million in Jan. There you go, Rajat. That's it. That's what Man United should be doing, trying to acquire the right sort of players, but we haven't done so. Haven't done so at all, sadly. Right, guys, so what I'm going to do is at the top of the live chat, everybody, we are 3 likes away from 150. Keep smashing that like button if you haven't done so, guys. Here's the FIFA stream, everyone. We're going to be back on at 11:15, so just under 45 minutes from now. Please do join us for the FIFA stream. It's at the bottom of the live chat there. So go and check it out. I will pin it to the top of the chat, actually. So, yeah, come and join us. We'll be back. We can talk more football then. But we're going to be playing FIFA, Foot Champs, and smashing up forwards. There's the latest news of the evening's goings-on. I want to thank you all for watching this stream tonight and getting involved in the chat and talking with me. Sorry if I didn't read any of your comments. Always try to read as many as I possibly can. Price Alex says that's all the players should be paid £200. Right, yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, there was some reports earlier that we could be limited them to 200k, but it's from the Gash Daily Mail. Vince McMahon to Murtagh and Arnold, you're fired. Yeah, good shout, Owen Thompson. You'd rather have Morata on loan. Oh, I wouldn't. Chloe would rather have Morata. I'm not a huge Morata fan, but each to their own. Piggy just came out. Anthony was involved in a crash on New Year's Eve, says Ronnie Dodge. You what? Is that what's just come out, is it? You for real? Maybe that's why he's being so gashtastic then. The Hoop Man says, see you soon. Thank you, the Hoop Man. Thank you, Disco Dave. We'll be back with FIFA. I've pinned it to the top, guys. Yes, do what Rushmano says and subscribe to the channel. Hit the like on the video, guys, before you go. Make sure you click the bell icon for notifications as well and set it to all. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok and Twitch, all at Flying Pig United. Check out the website, which is flyingpigunited.com. Check out the merch site. Get yourself a Glazers Out t-shirt and support the channel, flyingpigclothing.com. Appreciate you all, guys. Have a great evening. That's it from me. If you're not going to come back and watch the FIFA, have a good one, but at least go over there and smash a like on that video too before you go to sleep. And if you are going to come back and watch the FIFA, I'll see you over there. Thank you, Vutinator. Thank you, Ronnie Dodge, Rajat, Danushko, Vincent, Hoopman, Rushbunner, and everybody. All the mods, all the members. Thanks for supporting, guys. And we'll be back very, very soon. There's the latest news in a little cheeky little concise hour roundup for you peeps, and we'll be back tomorrow with the latest news, keeping you up to date with what's going on at this football club. Hopefully some good news to come tomorrow. Cheers, Ulf793 and Ashwin, Vuti, everyone. Stay classy, guys. That's it from me. Have a good one. Take it easy, and come on, United. And remember, Piggy loves you. Also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.